Welcome to episode 13 of the eTravel Weekly Show from virtualmissfriday.com. I'm Michelle Dale, and this is a show dedicated to providing insights into online business, mindset and travel for virtual assistants and digital nomads. So in this week's show, we're going to be exploring schooling options for digital nomads with kids. That's on my blog this week. We've got a new PLR pack called What Siri Can Do For You. We're going to be discussing business, Apple Watch and iPhone 6. We're going to be discussing mindset, or how future comes at a price, and also travel, about Richard Branson's latest plea to let children travel the world. So let's get started with the show.
Oh, groovy, baby. Yeah.
So this week on my blog over at virtualmissfriday.com/Michelle, I wrote a post about exploring schooling options for digital nomads with kids. So basically, if you're living the virtual lifestyle, if you're traveling, you may or may not have kids yet, but generally sort of this kind of generation is the generation that is going to start having children while traveling. And we are going to start, I think, globally rethinking our education options and what we have for our children. I've always been one that's never been academic. I really kind of hated school, and it didn't really serve me very well because I can't remember what I learned in school. Seriously, I had a great drama teacher. I got an A in drama. But I enjoyed that. I didn't consider it, traditional schooling. But obviously my children might be different, and I have to fully accept that. Maybe my children won't want to travel when they're older. Maybe they will want to settle down and, have a career and go to university and all these things, and I don't want to deny them that at the same time. Although I do feel a kind of worldly experience-based education is much better for them. So anyway, we've got a few school rules that we have to follow here in Greece. My kids are going back to Greek school this year, and we intended to basically travel for half the year and stay in Greece for half the year. And we tried that this year, and it worked out so well. But the education system here is not allowing us to remove our kids from school. So we're having to make some tough decisions. And basically this post is about the kind of options that, we're thinking are available to us in our specific situation. I'd love to hear your feedback as well. If you're thinking about traveling with kids, or you do travel with kids, how do you feel about education and things like that? Because I know it's a really controversial subject. So, interested in hearing your thoughts, head over to the blog, and you'll find the post on there, and then, we can thrash it out there. Okay, speaking of the blog, I did want to update you as well this week. I've done an explore page on my site because I know a lot of people are interested and keen on, drilling down more into the blog. So if you go to virtualmissfriday.com/guide, you'll be able to see a complete sitemap of the online business services and training and the projects that we're working on in Virtual Miss Friday. And there is also a blog guide on there as well if you want to search around for things on that. So moving on to my final Virtual Miss Friday update this week, it's on the PLR pack. We have a brand new private label rights article pack, which you can use in your business. It's called What Siri Can Do For You. And basically there is 5 articles in there on what is Siri, using Siri for the purposes of business, top 10 things you can do with Siri, how Siri can save you time and make you more productive, and how Siri can save you money and help manage your finances. Which leads me nicely on. I don't know whether you saw it this week, but I did try streaming live on Apple. This week's eTravel Weekly Discoveries, my business focus is on the iPhone 6 and the Apple Watch. I watched, they did a massive event, Apple did a massive event, and they basically did the keynote which introduced iPhone 6. There's something called Apple Pay coming out now, which is amazingly tremendous. It basically allows you to pay for things without a credit card, just using your iPhone 6, which is like so incredible. And they also introduced the Apple Watch. And this technology that they've introduced, the iPhone 6 and the Apple Watch, is like what a leap, a massive leap. It's way beyond what they've ever done. It was really sketchy watching the keynote because it was live streaming on the Apple site, and I think their site was just bombarded because it would freeze and, it would like kind of disappear for periods of time. So I think I'll have to watch the keynote again to really understand what this involves. But the iPhone 6 has just got this amazing, incredible technology. They've got the Apple Pay thing, which basically allows you to pay with credit cards, and it goes through an extremely secure system. This is the future. Apple Pay is definitely the future of payments. And then you can get the Apple Watch now, but you need the iPhone 6 on it. And I think it also works with iPhone 5, but you need to have an iPhone in order for the Apple Watch to work. But it was just incredible. The demonstration that they did with it is insane. So I would recommend that you go to the Apple website and check those out, and also watch the keynote. If you're a technology geek like me, then you're gonna love that. Okay, moving on to my mindset e-travel discovery. Chris, I never get his name right. Chris Guilbeau, I think it is, or something like that. Anyway, I've read all his stuff. He's got a brand new book out. It's called, where is it? The Happiness of Pursuit. So he's got this book out. I'm going to get that and read a copy of his book. But The Art of Nonconformity, if you haven't read it, it's an absolute must read. And I was reading this post on the Happiness Project this week from Gretchen Rubin. And this really caught my attention. If you're always future oriented, it tends to come at the expense of the present moment. And I cannot tell you that enough, that is so true. I was a very future oriented person. I was continuously thinking about what was going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I was working in a bank, just before I started my own business. So I was in my very, very early 20s, 20, 21. And the whole time I should have been living in the present moment. I wasn't. I was just planning for the future. Working in a bank, they basically teach you about, insurance and pensions and, life cover and things like that. And you're constantly thinking that you're about to peg it, or, you're scared and fearful for what's going to happen when you're 60 or 65 or 70. And at the age of 20, it seemed a little bit crazy to me that I was doing that. It's another one of the reasons why I ended up starting my own business and traveling, because I wanted to live in the present moment. And if you are constantly thinking about the future, like, oh, what if this happened? Or what if I did that? What would happen a year from now? Or, you've just had a baby, and your baby's like 2 months old and you're thinking about colleges for them. It's such a shame, because I think the people who do that really do miss out on so much in life. And I think that if you go to the Happiness Project site and read this post, it may really resonate with you. But that's not the whole point of the post. They talk about habits and how habits can basically help or hinder you, really, and how habits aren't really focused on the freedom lifestyle. But Chris says they are for him, and they certainly are for me. I'm very, very much a habit maker. Habits form the foundation of my daily life. And if it wasn't for my habits, I don't think I'd be able to do as much as I could do, really. So basically, the article has 2 really great tips about forging a life around habits. Some people can just kind of drift through and do whatever they want, and I think that's fine for a single person. But for me, it wouldn't work with 3 kids. So my life is forged around habits, but they're healthy habits. And when I think about a habit now, I don't think of something like, smoking. Not that I've never smoked, but, when people think of habits, they think about smoking or, a bad habit. But there are actually really good points for your daily living and your daily life by taking on good habits and working towards good habits. So a habit takes about 27 to 30 days to basically become a habit. So whenever you want to form a habit, do it for around 30 days consistently every single day, and you'll get that habit. And always make sure those habits are good. And basically, he says in his life that every day he focuses on outcomes and deliverables instead of time-based commitments, which was another really great takeaway from this. Basically, I have my to-do list, and I know that I have so many things that I need to do, but I don't stress about the time, and I don't stress about things like that, because I do believe that, there will be enough time in my day to get everything done that needs to be done. So, check out the post. I thought it was really, really excellent, and I think you'll like it too. And then finally, this is going back a little bit to my post, and I did link back to this post in there. It's one from Richard Branson, and it's an article about let children travel the world, and this really resonates with me at the moment with the schooling thing that's going on with my kids. But he made a really, really good point in here. And if you're a VA or an online service provider, or if you're literally anybody who's looking to start an online business, to have this kind of travel freedom lifestyle, it's a gift. It truly, truly is a gift. And there was one really important point he made in here, that travel is not always an option for everyone, and for those who are fortunate enough to be able to travel, they should grab it with both hands. And he basically goes on to the idea that schools should be letting children out during term time to travel, and if they did, that would certainly make my life a lot easier, because I would be able to travel with my kids for say, a month or a couple of months during the winter, hopefully, or break it down so they didn't miss too much of school by sort of returning back. So, it's a really good point. I think it's a really good point, and I'm very passionate about this subject, that we should be getting our kids out into the world and less in the classroom. So more world, less classroom. And I know that isn't available for everybody. So I implore you that if you do have the ability to travel, if you are living the virtual lifestyle, if you're running an online business, or if you have the inclination to, learn how to do it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't say that, traveling isn't, for you, or it's too difficult, or it's too much hassle, or it's not possible for you even. It totally is. I never would have believed a decade ago that I would be living the life that I'm living now. I was totally stuck in my ways, in a job that I hated. I thought that England was the only place that I would ever be able to live, and it wasn't until I just basically cut that cord with my life and and with the way things were, that I realized it opened up a whole new world for me and a whole new set of doors. And basically, don't let your fears of traveling, and particularly traveling with children, because I hear this all the time. Oh, I can't go traveling because I've got kids, or I can't live abroad because I've got kids, or I can't, emigrate because I have kids. It's good for the kids. It's so good for them, being away from their natural habitat, and getting out into seeing some new things, new cultures, seeing different ideas from other people. It has so many benefits: health benefits, creativity benefits, mindset benefits. So that's basically this week's e-travel show, and I hope you enjoyed it and the points that we discussed. So as always, I welcome your comments on YouTube or on the blog post, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening to this show. For more eTravel Weekly episodes, you can sign up for a free digital backpack at www.e-travelweekly.com, where I post the video, audio, and newsletter, plus all the links featured inside this week's show. You can also subscribe via YouTube at michelleonyoutube.me or via iTunes at michelleonitunes.me.